09. Today I want to present for my part, which is question 1 and question 2. Based on question given is from the population of 500 university students, 25 randomly selected students information about their high school GPA, Maths SAT score, English SAT score, Computer SAT score, and University GPA. For question number 1, I need to develop the frequency table for Maths and English score with the percent and cumulative percent frequency column. For Math SAT score, we determine the number of classes is 6 because the size sample that we got is 25. In this case, we use 2 to power k row. So that is mean 2 power 6 equal to 64, which is greater than our size sample, which is 25. To sum up, the recommended number that we use of classes are 6. Class width, the formula is max entry minus 2 mean entry divided by number of classes. So 712 minus 2 552 divided by 6 equal to 26.6, round up to 27. To find the lower limit of the remaining 6 classes, add the class width of 27 to the lower limit of each previous class. The upper limit of the first class is 578, which is 1 less than the lower limit of the second class. The upper limit of the other classes are 578 plus 27 equal to 605. 605 plus 227 equal to 632, and so on. After that, make a tally math for each data entry in the provided class. The number of tally math for a class is the frequency for that class. The relative frequency is the portion or percentage of the data that falls in that class. To find the relative frequency, use the formula, which is class frequency divided by sample size. The cumulative frequency of a class is the sum of the frequency for the class and all previous classes. The second is English SAT score. I do the same things as Maths score. We determine the number of classes for English SAT score is 6. So the class width is 721 minus 486 divided by 6 equal to 39.60, and we round up to 40. To find the lower limit of the remaining 6 classes, add the class width of 40 to the lower limit of each previous class. The upper limit of the first class is 525, which is 1 less than the lower limit of the second class. The upper limits of the other classes are 525 plus 40 equal to 565. 565 plus 40 equal to 6 and 5, and so on. Okay, so question number 2 is develop the histogram chart for Maths and English score, a pie chart for the center of the study sample. First, I do to determine the midpoint. The class boundary, the number that separate classes without forming gap between them. To find the lower boundary, lower limit is minus 0.5. Example for Maths SAT score, the lower is 552 minus to 0.5 is 551.5. However, for upper boundary is 578 plus to 0.5, so the upper boundary is 578.5. The To find the midpoint is the sum of the lower and upper limit of the class divided by 2. After determine the midpoint for maths and English, I developed the histogram for each score based on the midpoint. Then a pie chart for the genre of the study. Sample. Based on the list given, the female is 30 and the male is 20. That's all for me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Navina Logeswaran. My matrix number is H21A2264. Today I want to present question 3 and 4. In question 3, we need to find the mode, mean and median. To find the mean, we sum up all the values and divide by the number of values. To find the median, we arrange the scores in ascending order and find the middle value. If there is an even number of scores, we take the average of the two middle values. The mode represents the most frequently occurring scores in the dataset. To calculate the standard deviation, we'll use the sample formula. First, we find the difference between each score and the mean, square the differences, sum them up, divide by n minus 1, and then take the square root. For question number 4, if the skewness is close to 0, the distribution is approximately symmetric. Greater than 0, the distribution is right skewed, positively skewed, with a long tail on the right. Less than 0, the distribution is left skewed, negatively skewed, with a long tail on the left. For high school GPA, the distribution is left skewed and the computer GPA is right skewed. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Poazi and my number matrix is H21A3055. Today I'm going to present about question number 5 and 6. For question number 5, to calculate the confidence interval for the math and English scores, we need to find out the value of SP first. The formula of SP is square root of H1 minus 1 multiplied S1 square plus H2 minus 1 multiplied S2 square per H1 plus H2 minus 2. So when I apply to this question, it becomes square root of 25 minus 1 multiplied 50.52 square plus 25 minus 1 multiplied 54.59 square per 25 plus 25 minus 2. The DF is equal to H1 plus H2 minus 2. And the final answer for SP is 52.59. After this, we can start to calculate the difference between math and English scores with the formula, which is x1 minus x2 plus minus sin t direct proportion per 2, DFSP square root of 1 per H1 plus 1 per H2. So it will be 615.04 minus 585.04 plus minus 90.05 per 2, 25 plus 25 minus 2, and lastly multiply the 52.59 square root of 1 per 25 plus 1 per 25. And the final answer is negative 0.05 and 60.05. Therefore, 95% of confidence shows that the difference between math and English scores is negative 0.05 and 60.05. For question number 6, in order to compare the students' high school GPA and university GPA as well as their relationship, we drew a scatter plot to illustrate it. As we can see, there is a high positive relationship between high school GPA and university GPA as two variables tends to increase from left to right.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Janatul Rabia binti Jaimat and my number matrix is H21A2828. Today I will present about my question being given is question number 7 and question number 8. Question number 7, which is what is the correlation between high school GPA and overall university GPA? As you can see here, you must find out how you want to find DR. DR is Pearson's correlation coefficient. Okay, firstly, you must find the x power of 2, y power of 2, and xy power of 2. Then find the total of each of these x power of 2, y power of 2, and xy power of 2. Then put in the formula being given. After you finish all the calculation, you will get the answer of dr. The answer of dr is 0.849. And then the last part you must answer like this. Pearson's product moment correlation coefficient between high school and university has a strong positive relationship. Okay, question number 8, which is the question asked about did the students have higher overall math SAT scores or English SAT scores. Okay, there are 5 steps to find the answer of this question, which is step 1 is calculate of each means math SAT and SAT score and English SAT scores, and then you will find out there will be H0 for high scores from math SAT and H1 for no high score math SAT. Okay. Step 2, you will find proportional to. The proportional to is 0.05, and then put in the formula being given. The formula is t test greater than t test brackets x df ch minus 1, and then calculate it. After that, last step you will answer like this. Therefore, it shows that there is a rejection of H0, which there is no high for math SAT.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Wendy Wong Wenjing and my number metric is H21A3123. For this question, we need to use t-test and there are 5 steps. The first step is we need to know the H0 and H1. For the H1, the mean grade of girls is the same as the mean grade of boys, and H1 is the mean grade of girls is not the same as the mean grade of boys. The question already stated that the significance level of 0.05, so the second step is proportional equals 0.05. We need to calculate min x before we want to find t. After that, we can do the third step using the formula, which x min minus mu0 per s per square root 25, so we will get 11.96. And the next step is we need to use the other formula, which plus greater than plus proportional df, and the answer is 2.06 greater than 11.96, and the variation is square root 0.26 and standard deviation is 0.51. Step 5 shows that there is a rejection of H0, which means that the mean grade of girls is not the same as the mean grade of boys.
For this question, we need to use this formula to find the regression equation to calculate GPA. We can use the regression equation to estimate value of y, which y equal b0 plus b1x. So we need to find the b1 and b0 first and the mean for x and y. b1 formula is sum xy minus sum x sum y per n divided with sum x power 2 minus sum x in bracket 2 per n. So b1 we will get 79.07 for maths SAT score, and formula b0 is mean y minus b1 mean x, so the answer is 369.13. And then the regression equation for maths SAT score is y equal 369.13 plus 79.07x. We will use the same calculation and formula to find the English SAT score too. So the B0 English SAT score is 316.71 and B1 is 86.28. So the regression equation is y equal 316.71 plus 86.28x. Next, if we want to find the R square R power 2 of the model, then we need to use the Pearson product moment correlation coefficient interpretation. The formula is R equals sum of x and y minus sum x sum y per n divided with square root sum x power 2 minus sum x in bracket power 2 per n. First thing first, we need to finish calculate the R, and after we found the answer, we need to rewrite the answer and power 2, so we will get 0.004 for the R-square of the model. For the maths SAT score, the correlation between university GPA and maths score has a weak positive relationship, which is 0.06 for the interpretation of R power 2. 0.004 means that 0.4% of the total variation in maths score can be explained by university GPA using the regression line. Meanwhile, for the English SAT score, the correlation between uni GPA and English SAT score has a strong positive relationship, which is 0.06. For the interpretation of R power 2, 0.56 means that 56% of the total variation in English score can be explained by university GPA using the regression line.